Good afternoon everyone, I'm Christian Ryan B. Raquino and I'm about to report soil from Unit 4, Highway Materials and Equipment Used in Construction. Now, this unit introduced the equipment used for highway construction and different types of pavement materials and its important for construction. So, itong mga materials daw na to ay kadalasan nakikita lamang dyan na kung saan ginagamit sa highway construction katulad ng soil, aggregates, cement, bituminous materials and binders, mineral fillers, steel, and plastic fabric. Soil. Ano nga ba ang soil? Ang soil ay isang organic material na kung saan binubuo siya ng 5 ingredients. Yun ang mineral, soil living matter, living organism, gas, and water. Soil. The primary mode of transportation for most countries rely on vast length of roads and highways. It is no doubt the most essential and used way to transport whether goods or people, but most of the time during road construction, the ground where the road will be built is not always at its best condition. Next natin yung desirable properties ng isang subgrade soil bago tayo magtayo ng roads or highway. The desirable properties of subgrade soil as a highway materials are stability, incompressibility, permanency of strength, minimum changes in volume and stability under adverse condition of weather and groundwater, good drainage and ease of compaction. Next natin soil classification. Meron tayo ditong sand, silt, clay. Sila ay 3 major classification ng soil. So, meron tayo ditong ternary diagram na kung saan yung tatlong yon ay related sa soil texture. Meron tayo ditong triangle. Ito yung tinatawag na ternary diagram. Ito yung nagse-separate sa silt, clay, sa sand. So, paano ba ito ginagamit? Kung makikita nyo, meron tayo ditong 10, 20, 30, hanggang 100. So, dito muna tayo sa sand separate. Mula dito sa kanan, sa baba ng triangle, papunta doon sa kaliwa ng triangle na yan. So, meron tayong example din eh. So, soil texture sample. 60% ng sand. So, asan ba din yung 60%? So, ito. Ayan. Sunod natin yung 10% ng silt. So, ito siya. Meron tayo dito 30% ng clay. So, ito siya. So, mula dito sa 60% ng sand natin. Teka lang. Ayan, mula dito sa 60% ng sand natin, papakit siya dyan sa taas. And then, ganun din sa 10% ng silt. Pababa naman siya. Pababa naman siya. And then, ayan. Tapos, ito namang 30% ng clay, pakanan naman siya. So, kung makikita nyo din eh, nag-intercept yung tatlo. So, kung saan nagtagpo yung tatlo, siya yung tinatawag nating texture ng soil. So, ito siya, yung sandy clay form. So,
okay, so hello, I am Alvin El Reguial and I will be reporting about the topic of aggregates. So, what is aggregates? Refers to the collection of minerals such as sand, gravel, and crushed stones used with a binding medium to form a compound material, for example, concrete. So, construction aggregate or simply aggregate is a category for coarse to medium-grained particulate materials used in constructions. Aggregates are components of composite materials such as concrete and asphalt concrete, and aggregates serves as the reinforcement to add strength to the overall composite materials. So there are types of mixes of aggregates. Hot mix asphalt is composed of 92 to 96% aggregate, while Portland cement concrete has 70 to 80%. Aggregates are also used on both flexible and rigid pavements, base and sub-base. So ito yung mga ginagamit natin sa highway construction, the hot mix asphalt or the Portland cement concrete. So ito yung pictures ng example of hot mix asphalt na ginagamit sa highway construction and then the Portland cement concrete. Next slide. Types of aggregates. So there are two types of aggregates, mainly natural and manufactured. Natural aggregates. Natural aggregates are extracted from larger rock formations through an open excavation or quarry. Typically, those extracted rocks are reduced to usable size by mechanical crushing. So, natural aggregates like stones is quarried and crushed to the ground to produce a variety of sizes of aggregates. On the other hand, manufactured aggregates is often the byproduct of other manufacturing industries. So mamaya makikita natin kung paano ba o saan ba nanggagaling yung manufactured aggregates. Next slide. Aggregate sources. So una muna is the natural aggregates. Natural aggregates came from rocks which are classified into three geological classifications. It can either be igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, or metamorphic rocks. So, no second year, napag-aralan natin to sa geology, yung mga types of rocks. So, babalikan lang natin ng konti para magka-idea kayo. Next slide. So, first is igneous rocks. Igneous rocks, they are formed by a cooling of molten rock materials beneath the Earth's crust. So, igneous rock, from the Latin word fire, form when hot, molten rock crystallizes and solidifies. The melt originates deep within the earth near active plate boundaries or hotspots, then rises toward the surface. Igneous rocks are primarily crystalline. So here are some examples of igneous rocks: andesite, basalt, and diorite. Next slide. Next type of rock is the sedimentary rocks. These rocks are made up of deposited insoluble materials like the remains of existing rock at the bottom of a lake or oceans. Sedimentary rocks are transformed to rock by heat and pressure. These rocks are layered in appearance. There are three classifications of sedimentary rocks based on their predominant mineral. So, from the word itself, sedimentary rocks, ito yung napo-form kapag yung mga sediments o yung mga remains nung isang bato na nadurog, either by weathering or other circumstances, ay nagle-layer o nagpapatong-patong siya. Next slide. So, the first type of sedimentary rocks, which are based on their composed minerals, is the calcareous rocks. Calcareous rocks are predominantly carbonate rocks, usually limestone or dolostone. So, yung carbonate rocks pala is made of particles which are composed of more than 50% of carbonate minerals embedded in a cement. So, one example is a limestone. Next slide. Next type of sedimentary rocks is the silicous rocks. Silicous rocks are sedimentary rocks that have silica as the principal constituent. The most common silicous rocks is chert. Other types include diatomite. So, example nga nung silicous sedimentary rock is the chert. Next type is argillaceous rocks. Argillaceous rocks contain silt or clay-sized particles that are less than 0.0625 mm and or clay minerals. The argillaceous rocks or lutites include shales, argillites, siltstones, and mudstones. So example nasa picture is a siltstone. So the last type of rocks is the metamorphic rocks. When igneous or sedimentary rocks is subjected to heat or pressure that is great enough to change their mineral structure and become different from the original rock, they are considered as metamorphic rocks. So, alam nyo ba guys na hindi lang igneous or sedimentary rocks pwede magkaroon ng metamorphic rocks? Pwede rin na magkaroon ng other metamorphic rocks from other types of metamorphic rock itself. So, ang tawag sa pag-form ng metamorphic rock For example is nagsama yung igneous at isang sedimentary rock at naging metamorphic rock. Ang tawag doon sa process na yun is contact metamorphism. So next slide. So these are the examples of metamorphic rocks. First is anthracite, then the gneiss, then the lapis lazuli. So tapos na tayo sa natural aggregates. So dumako naman tayo sa next type of aggregates, which is the manufactured aggregates. They are usually a byproduct of manufacturing industries such as slag, or the byproduct of the metallurgical processing typically produced from processing steel, tin, and copper, or specialty rocks that are produced to have particular physical properties that are not found in natural rocks, like the low density of lightweight aggregates. So many manufactured aggregates are either controlled byproducts of industrial processes, such as the various iron and steel slugs, or partially controlled waste materials resulting from other industrial processes, such as clinkers and ashes. Okay, so these are the examples of manufactured aggregates. First is the blast furnace slag. So yung blast furnace slag is nakukuha siya doon sa iron ore, o kaya naman is limestone na pinainit siya sa isang blast furnace na container. So kapag in-extract yung iron dun sa iron ore, magkakaroon ka ng molten iron tsaka molten slag. At yung mga slag na yun, kapag napainitan siya tapos lumamig, so magiging blast furnace slag na siya. So the next example is the fly ash. So yung fly ash is just finely divided residue which results from the combustion of pulverized coal. So ito yung ilan sa mga example ng manufactured aggregates. So this ends my report. Dumako na tayo sa next reporter.
Hello guys, my name is Ravidin El Resalva. First of all, I just want you to meet Cementos. So it's already stated here that my topic is all about cement. Usapan muna natin kung saan nanggaling ang cement. In 1824, Joseph Absdeen, a British stonemason, habang nag-eksperimento siya sa kusina niya, he found that by heating clay and limestone at very high temperature, then cooling, grinding, and mixing it with water, he created a particularly strong cement. He obtained the patent for Portland cement on October 21, 1824. In India, the first cement factory was installed at Tamil Nadu, 1904, by South India Industry Limited. 4 essential elements are needed to make cement. There are calcium, silicon, aluminum, and iron. Calcium, which is the main ingredient, can be obtained from limestone, whereas silicon can be obtained from sand. Aluminum and iron can be extracted by bauxite and iron ore, and only small amount are needed. Hindi makakaila na ang semento ay mayroong napakalaking ambag sa pagsulong ng sibilisasyon, partikular na sa transportasyon. Saan nga ba ginagamit ang semento? Siyempre, tulad ng tulay, tunnel, safety barriers, slope protection, concrete road, and highway. What is cement? Cement is a fine, soft, powdery type substance. It is made from a mixture of elements that are found in natural materials such as limestone, clay, sand, or shale. So kanina binanggit ko yung essential elements para makagawa ng cement. So paki-comment dun sa comment section kung ano yung apat na yon para manalo ng load. So top 3 yung kukunin namin. When cement is mixed with water, it can bind sand and aggregates into a hard, solid mass called concrete cement. Ano nga ba yung pinagkaiba ng concrete sa cement? So, yung cement ay ingredient siya ng concrete. Sabihin, yun yung hinahalo para makabuo tayo ng concrete.
Follow all the stages in the manufacture of cement with Lafarge, step by step, from extraction of the raw materials to shipment of the finished product. Raw materials are required to make cement: limestone and clay. Rocks extracted from the quarry are routed to the cement plant constructed nearby. In order to respect their site's location, all quarries are subject to a rehabilitation plan. Minerals are then transported to the grinding plant, where they are crushed before being reduced to a fine powder. This mixture, called raw mix, can also include a proportion of other materials, such as slag or pozzolan. Raw mix is preheated to 800 degrees centigrade, then heated to 1450 degrees centigrade in the vertical rotary kiln. The fired materials take the form of hard granules called clinker. Lafarge has made a commitment to WWF to reduce its global CO2 emissions, so uses alternative fuels, for example. Old clinker is stored in silos before being mixed with gypsum. It's this finely ground powder which is called cement. Substitute materials such as fly ash can be used in its composition. This reduces CO2 emissions and creates cement with a variety of properties. Cement is stored in silos before being delivered in bulk using tanker trucks or packed in 25 to 35 kilo bags. Since the market for construction materials is a local market, transportation distances are relatively short.
So, meron tayong 13 types of cement and their uses. Number 1, ordinary Portland cement, or OPC. It is the most common and widely used type of cement which is suitable for most construction projects. The global production of this cement is on average of 3.8 million cubic meters. Number 1, ordinary Portland cement, or OPC. It is the most common and widely used type of cement which is suitable for most construction projects. The global production of this cement is on average of 3.8 million cubic meters per year. And number 2, pozzolana cement, or PPC. This kind of cement is highly resistant to various chemical attacks on concrete compared to ordinary Portland cement. It is mostly used on underwater, marine structures, sewage works, and other concrete works that requires the concrete to be submerged on water. Sa pagpe-prepare ng Portland pozzolana cement, yung pozzolanic clinker is grinded with OPC. You can also produce it by adding pozzolana with the addition of gypsum or calcium sulfate. So, yung PPC produce highly durable concrete dahil sa kanyang low water permeability kumpara sa OPC. And yung PPC has low initial setting strength compared to OPC but hardens over a period of time with proper curing. Siyempre, mas mura yung PPC kesa sa OPC. Pero yung OPC is highly applicable where fast pace of construction is required. Number 3, rapid hardening cement. This cement is kind of similar to ordinary Portland cement except to the fact that it rapidly hardens and attains high strength in shorter period of time. This cement has higher content of lime and dry calcium silicate and finer grinding that helps it attain higher strength development than OPC at early stage. So with the same water-cement ratio, yung lakas ng rapid hardening cement ng 3 araw ay similar sa 7 araw ng OPC. Ang purpose ng rapid hardening cement na ginagamit sa concrete ay makapag-achieve ng higher rate of early strength development kumpara sa paggamit ng normal cement. The main advantage of this cement is that formworks can be removed early, thus increasing the speed of construction and decreases the cost of construction by saving formwork cost. It is mostly used on concrete construction, roadworks, and other projects that requires fast curing concrete. Number 4. Quick setting cement. Quick setting cement is special type of cement where the setting time of hardening of cement to be fast and the cement is to be less. And it can be used on projects that require short time of completion. Number 5. Low-heat cement. The most suitable kind of cement for mass concrete construction like gravity dams is the low-heat cement for its low heat of hydration that prevents concrete cracking due to heat or thermal expansion. So, kaya ginagamit yung low-heat cement sa dam kasi yung hydration nun is 20% lesser than OPC cement. And the amount of water is required for rehydration is low. Kaya more high technical strength of concrete is required. And this cement has increased power against sulfate and is less reactive and its initial setting time is greater as compared to OPC. So, number 6. Sulfates resisting cement. So, hindi lahat ng construction project ay compatible na gamitin yung OPC kasi yung ibang lupa is acidic or maalat dahil yung sulfate is salt. Diba? So, bakit nga ba nakakasira yung sulfate sa concrete? When these stresses become greater than the concrete's tensile capacity, yung concrete ay magsisimulang mag-crack. At yung crack na yon ang mag-aalaw na pumasok yung sulfate at bibilis yung pagkasira. Sulfates also cause chemical disintegration of some of the cement hydration products. So, yung sulfate-resisting cement are used for areas where soil has high sulfate content. And it was usually used on projects that are exposed to severe sulfate action by water or soil that present on areas like canals lining, culverts, retaining wall, and others. Number 7. Blast furnace slag cement. This cement is obtained by grinding the clinker with about 60% slag. It has almost the same properties as an OPC. So, yung slag ay ginagamit sa buong mundo in road and railway construction and for engineering. Pinakagamitin siya sa paggawa ng asfalto and also successfully used as an aggregate for concrete. And yung blast furnace slag cement ay hindi pwedeng gamitin sa emergency works dahil mababa yung initial strength at high setting time. It can work with OPC to increase strength, reduce permeability, and improve chemical resistance. Number 8. High alumina cement. By melting a mixture of bauxite and lime and grinding it together with the clinker, high alumina cement is obtained. So, yung bauxite is ganito yung itsura niya. Ayan. So, due to the property of rapid hardening and strength, it is widely used in marine construction and sewer infrastructure. High alumina cement is also used in refractory concretes where it requires more strength at very high temperature. As the heat required for producing this cement is high, its manufacturing cost is also high. Number 9, white cement. So, yung white cement is kadalasang ginagamit sa architectural purposes such as precast curtain wall and facing panels, terrazzo surface, also on interior and exterior decorative works such as external rendering of buildings, facing slabs, tiling works, ornamental concrete products, and the likes. It is the type of ordinary Portland cement that is colored white and is cost layer. So, yan yung itsura niya. And then yung 10, colored cement. Cement that are widely used for decorative works on floor and is produced by mixing 5 to 10% mineral pigment with ordinary cement. So, yan. Diyan siya kadalasang ginagamit. Para siyang painting. 11. Air entraining cement. So, it is produced by adding air entraining agents such as resin, glues, sodium salt of sulfates, etc. during the grinding of clinker, in improving the frost resistance of concrete and the workability with smaller water cement ratio. This kind of cement is used. So, this concrete is used for lining walls and roofs for heat and sound insulation purpose. Number 12. Expansive cement. This cement expands slightly with time and is mainly used for grouting prestressed concrete ducts and anchor bolts. So last is hydrographic cement. This cement is mainly used for construction works that are located on water such as dam, water tanks, spillways, water retaining structures, etc. It is prepared by mixing water-repelling agent, chemicals on cement, and it has high workability and strength. Its main property of repelling water helps it withstand monsoon or rains. So, makikita nyo naman yung itsura niya. Nire-repel niya yung water. And, yun po ang mga types ng cement.
Hello guys, ako nga pala si Johnny Palomo at ito ang aking report. Pangalan ay, ang title ay Bituminous Materials and Binders. Okay, so mag-start muna tayo sa word na bitumen. So sabing ganon, in the United States and in the most part of the world, it is called asphalt. So alam naman natin, yung asphalt ginagamit sa may road construction. Okay. Tapos, the word asphalt is derived from the ancient Greek asphaltos. So, yung asphalto ay, it is a sticky, black, highly viscous liquid or semi-solid form of petroleum. It may be found in natural deposits or may be a refined product and is classed as a pitch. So, yung bitumen daw, ano siya, sticky. So, tagal ng sticky, malagkit, color black lang yung kanyang color, and highly viscous. Pag sinabi nating viscous, ano lang yan sa Tagalog? Yan yung malapot. Okay? So, may imagine nyo na yung texture niya ron. Okay? Sa bitumen. So, it is also called tar or pitch. But though some mistakes, it is the same. Technically speaking, they are not. So, yung bitumen, tinatawag din daw siyang tar or pitch. Okay? So, papag-anihin natin mamaya yung tar versus asphalt versus pitch. So yung tar is a dark brown or black viscous liquid of hydrocarbons and free carbons obtained from a wide variety of organic materials through destructive distillation. Tar can be produced from coal, wood, petroleum, or peat. Yung peat, yan yung type ng soil. Okay? So ito yung ating tar. Yan. So yung bitumen naman, pitch is a viscoelastic polymer which can be natural or manufactured derived from petroleum, coal tar, or plants. Various forms of pitch may also be called tar, bitumen, or asphalt naman. Okay? So parang may pagkakahawig lahat. So pag sinabi naman natin viscoelastic polymer, yung polymer alam natin parang type yan ng plastic. Okay? Plastic. So viscoelastic naman, yun yung texture ng ating liquid. So, ang gaya niyan ay, pinakamadali ay sa may petroleum jelly. Okay? Yung petroleum jelly, parang ganun siya. Parang ganun yung texture niya. Pero, nakikita niyo dito, ganyan. Ganyan yung itsura niya. So, ayun. Sana maliwanagan kayo mamaya rito. Tar versus pitch versus asphalt. Okay? Ito. So si coal tar daw, by definition, is a dark, thick liquid formed as a product in the production of coke from coal. Okay, while the bitumen is a natural occurring dark, thick liquid that is highly viscous and sticky. Sabi, thick liquid formed as a product in the production of coke from coal. Okay? Coke from coal. So safety naman, the safety naman nila, so si tar is the safest and most effective medicine. So ginagamit siya sa may medicine. So ito naman, si bitumen naman, dangerous when exposed to high amounts via breathing. So pag naamoy natin siya, kunyari, nasa ano tayo sa highway, naamoy natin yung mga asphalto na ginagamit. Sabihin, hindi mabuti sa kalusugan yan. So okay, so kailangan natin gawin, umalis na tayo ron. So sa uses naman, si tar, in the field of medicine, construction, and industries. Nagagamit siya sa medicine, construction, and industries. While si bitumen naman, sa construction lang siya nagagamit. Okay? Construction of highways, airport, runways, tsaka iba-iba pa. Okay, so bituminous materials. Masabi, by definition, are materials bound together with bitumen. So materials bound together with bitumen. So kunyari, meron tayong aggregate plus aggregate plus bitumen, yung bato natin, tapos nilagyan natin ng bitumen. So classified na siya as bituminous materials. Okay? So at early times, the use of bituminous materials are limited to road construction. So doon lang nagagamit yun noong panahon sa road construction. Pero ngayon, but as time passed, its application have spread for different purposes such as roof construction. Yan, nagagamit na sa roof construction. Industrial purposes, carpet tiles, paints, spatial coating for waterproofing, different constructions and construction projects. Iba lang yan. Yan lang iba na pinapagamitan ng ating bituminous materials. Pero marami pa yan. And ito, nagbigay lang ako ng 4. Roof construction, paint, carpet tiles. Ito, hindi ko pa nakikita yan sa tunay na buhay. Carpet tiles. Tsaka waterproofing. Okay? Okay. Next. Types of bituminous mixture. So, meron tayong dalawang type. Yun yung unang natin ay asphalt. So, sabi dito, sa asphalt, si asphalto is a mixture of aggregates, binder, and filler used for constructing and maintaining roads. Okay? So, ginagamit lang yan sa paggawa ng ating mga daan. Ito naman yung binder and filler. Binder and filler, didiscuss natin mamaya yan. Okay? Kung ano yung filler. Sabi, in asphalt, the strength and the stiffness is gained through the mortar property. Yung mortar property natin, ano yan? Yan yung content ng asphalt. Okay? Okay, malilito ron. Yan yung content ng asphalt. So, si asphalt, so bitumen, pag nilagyan siya ng aggregate, yun na yung asphalto. Okay? The primary use of asphalt is in road construction. 70% ng gamit niya sa road construction, where it used as the glue or binder mixed with aggregate particles to create asphalt concrete. Okay? It is found that bitumen properties govern in asphalt than in the case of macadam. So yung bitumen, nagagamit siya sa may asphalto. Kesa ron kay macadam, mas nagagamit sa asphalto. So ito yung ibang, so kanina 70%, yung 30% naman, ito, sa iba-iba na ito. Sa roofing, sa damp proofing, pool lining, painting, newspaper ink production, soundproofing, iba-iba pa. Okay, ito, si macadam. So familiar na sa inyo ito, si macadam. Okay. Macadam is a type of road construction pioneered by Scottish engineer John Loudon Macadam around 1820. Okay, so sa mga hindi nakakita ng itsura ng macadam, ito yung kanyang itsura. Okay. Masabi, its strength is dependent on the aggregates that are present on the mixture. So nakadepende sa aggregate na gagamitin naman yung kanyang strength. Ayan. Ito familiar sa inyo yung picture na ito. Kinuha ko lang yan sa may report ni ma'am. Okay? So ulitin ko na ulit yung sinabi ni ma'am. Sabing ganun, McAdams' method was simpler, yet more effective at protecting roadways. He discovered that massive foundations of rock upon rock were unnecessary and arrested that native soil alone would support the road and traffic upon it, as long as it was covered by road crust that would protect the soil underneath from water and wear. Okay, so ito yung representation ng asphalt mix. Okay, and its characteristics. So yung mga line na maliliit na yan, ito, yan yung, dyan nakalagay si bitumen, fines, and filler. Okay, si bitumen, fines, and filler. Dito naman, ito yung mga bato natin, mga coarse aggregate natin. So characteristics niya, first, dense mortar providing strength and stiffness. Okay, high bitumen content. Ibig sabihin, maraming mga bitumen dyan. High filler content. Yung filler nga pala, yan, dyan yung maliliit na bato, maliliit na buhangin, parang ganon. So, low coarse aggregate content. Konti lang yung content ng aggregate natin. Okay, ito yan. Tapos, transmitted through mortar. So, ito naman si McAdam mix. Okay, si McAdam mix, nakita nyo, ayan, medyo, medyo ala nang masyadong bitumen dyan. So, well-graded aggregate giving it a stable, stable aggregate structure. So, pag sinabi nating well-graded aggregate, ito yung structure niya. Meron tayong tinatawag na gap-graded. Ayan, ganyan. I-analyze nyo na lang. Poorly graded. Tapos, si well-graded, yan yung meron tayong may size na malaki, may size na maliit. Medium pala. Tapos, maliit, tsaka yung, ayan na, yung medyo maliliit na masyado. Yan, well-graded aggregate. Okay? So, low bitumen content. So, konti lang yung bitumen niya. Tapos, low transmitted through aggregate structure. Ito naman, constituents of bituminous materials. So, bituminous materials are composed of graded aggregate and bitumen. Okay? There is also a presence of a small portion of air that makes the bituminous material a three-phase material. So, ito yung ating phase diagram. So, yan sa top, si air, water, and solid. Okay? Sabi nga nun, the fine component of the aggregate is called the filler. Okay? So, in filler, it should pass through 0.060 millimeter. Ito, ano yan, 0.060 millimeter sieve. In some cases, the graded aggregate mix contains some quantity of fillers, but if it is not adequate, extra fillers are used. It can be formed in the form of Portland cement, hydrated lime, or limestone. So ito, kailangan niya mag-pass sa number 30 sieve. Okay, nakita na natin yan sa may ating construction materials and testing. Okay, so ito yung kanyang filler. Ito yung tsura ng filler pala. Okay, sources of bitumen. So meron tayong dalawang sources lang. Natural bitumen and refinery bitumen. So sa natural bitumen, they are usually found deposited at bitumen-impregnated rocks, okay, and bituminous sands that have only a few bitumen percentage and are found to seem intimately connected with the mineral aggregates. But the most notable areas where bitumen deposits are found sa nahanap are in Valtre Traverse region of Switzerland and the tar sand area of North America. Okay, so ito yung maganda rito. At ngayon ko lang din na-discover na meron pala tayong tinatawag na asphalt lakes. So may nag-exist pala sa mundo natin na asphalt lakes. Diba? Sa mga lakes lang natin, meron lang tayong tubig na laman. Pero dito, may ganun pala, may asphalto palang lakes. Akala nyo tubig yan, asphalto pala yung block na yan. Okay, so meron daw tayong tatlo lang sa mundo natin, meron tayong tatlo. Si isa, okay, yung dalawa pala are located at Los Angeles, the La Brea Tar Pits. Okay, ito yung picture niya. And the other one is Lake Guanoco in Venezuela. So ito yung picture niya. Okay, so yung isa naman, ito, the Peach Lake. Among those three, one is regarded as the most magnificent. It is also the biggest among the three and is called the La Brea Peach Lake. Okay, the Peach Lake is the largest natural deposit of asphalt in the world, estimated to contain 10 million tons. Okay? So kanina kaya dito nakuha yung term na pitch, okay, sa Pitch Lake kasi halos lahat ng ating bitumen dito nakukuha. Okay, sobrang laki yan. So ito si ate kumukuha ng bitumen. Ayun, nakita yung lagkit. Okay? Okay, so refinery bitumen. Bitumen is heated in large steel coke drums at higher temperature and for longer periods of time than typical conventional oil refinery is capable of. Hydrogen is added afterwards to make bitumen more liquid, more like a liquid fuel. So si bitumen, pag ni-refine siya, pinapainit siya sa may coke drum na 480 degree. Okay, 480 degrees Celsius. Tapos, nilagyan ng hydrogen. It's added afterwards to make the bitumen more liquid fuel. So, nakalagay na siya sa may galon. So, malinis na yan. Hindi kagaya na to, kinukuha dyan. Pag kinuha dyan, halagay sa galon, nire-refine. Okay, so yun lang. Yun lang ang report ko. Sana may natutunan kayo. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Leverick Emroa and I'm the reporter of the Mineral Filers. So let's begin. What is Mineral Filers? 100 SIB. So dito daw, ang Mineral Filers ay finely divided sa sa mineral matters. Ang mga common na mineral filers ay rock dust, slag dust, hydrated lime, hydraulic cement at fly ash or at lowest. Kung hindi nyo alam ang lowest ay silty or loamy materials. Ayun yung characteristics niya. This is usually buff or yellowish brown in color. Karaniwan siyang nakikita sa mga mountainsides and sa mga parang desert place, ganun. So dito, ang sinasabi ay ang mineral filers daw ay mas finer sa thickness ng asphalt film at yun asphalt cement, yun yung tinatawag na bitumen, yun yung hinahalo din sa asphalt. So pag pinaghalo yung filer at asphalt film and asphalt cement binder, nagko-contribute ito ng improvement sa stiffening ng asphalt pag pinaghalo. So ang tawag naman sa mineral aggregates, yun yung massive siya, parang yun yung massive mineral, kumbaga kumpul-kumpul siya, ganun. Yung mga malalaking minerals na natatanggal sa finer, ganun. Ang mineral filers kasi pagka pinahinalo sa asphalt mixtures, depende kasi sa sa gradation, tapos sa shape, tapos sa texture. Pag mas finer, mas maganda yung performance ng asphalt kapag ito ay hinalo. At ang mineral filers kasi isa siyang additive lang sa asphalt para maging matibay at hindi masyadong magastos kapag bibili pa ng other materials na yung mineral filers kasi yun yung mas tipid, kumbaga. What and why of mineral filers? Mineral filers is grown up rock minerals added to mix. Therefore, mineral filers is an additive and modifier, not the main product. Sabi ko nga kanina, ang mineral filers kasi ay additive lang siya, hinahalo lang sa asphalt, pero hindi siya main product ng asphalt. Ayun nga, marami kasing iba't ibang kasing mineral na pwedeng ihalo sa asphalt for good performance of the asphalt. Mineral filers self-control products caused by displacing more expensive ingredients and taking up space in the product matrix. A good understanding of the role of filers can lead to significant savings in material cost and expand a compound's performance envelope, allowing allowing it to compete in new areas and against the other resins. Okay, dito naman tayo sa factors typically considered in filer minerals cost. Ayun nga yun kanina, mas cheaper, mas cost effective yun filer at mas matibay pa kumpara kung pagbibili ka pa ng mga expensive materials na additive lang naman sa asphalt. Okay, specific gravity, density, hardness, shape, particles, color. Yun nga, yung color, maraming iba't ibang kulay. Particle size, marami rin. Halimbawa, ang kulay ng, ayun, lowest. Ano siya, yellow brown in color. Ma-yellow brown siya. Refractive index properties and chemical properties. Yun nga, maraming iba't ibang chemical properties yun, mineral natin. So, kagaya ng hydrated lime. Yung hydrated lime kasi, yung kanina nabanggit ko, calcium hydroxide siya. Is an organic compound with the formula of CaOH2. The role of filers. Filers are used for a wide variety of reasons. They can extend resins, increase stiffness and strength, improvement in impact performance, and shorten cycle times. They prevent hang-ups in dyes and neutralize the products of degradation. Filers can also be used to add color, opacity, and conductivity to a compound. Yung palang filer na yun, traditional na ginagamit kasi sobrang low cost material siya at effective pag pinanghalo sa asphalt. Today, filers can be a true performance additive. Advance in compounding technology allow the use of much finer filers that could not be used in the past. Ayun nga, yung advanced compounding technology allow for use finer filers pero hindi siya pwedeng gamitin mga nakaraan. Mineral used as filer. Sa filer. Okay, calcium carbonate. Ito yung calcium carbonate kasi nanggagaling yan sa limestone at natudurog siya kapag umuulan. So, clay. Yung clay pala, ginagamit din siya sa conductor. Clay goes into a wire and cables formulation where it improves the electrical properties. So, ito yung example ng talc. So, ang talc is, yung hardness niya is 1. Ito yung softest mineral na So, ang chemical properties niya is Mg3 o magnesium. Meron siyang silicon na may subscription ng 4, oxygen na subscript na 10, at hydroxide na meron siyang subscript na 2. So, ang color ng talc is colorless. Ayun, nakikita nyo naman. Colorless, white, pale green, bright emerald green, to dark green, brown, gray, and greasy feel. Ayun. Ito yung wollastin. Ang chemical properties niya is calcium, silicon, and oxygen na may subscript ng 3. O, parang casio. Ayun. Ayan, nakikita nyo. Ang hardness niya is 4.5. At ayan, nakikita nyo pa yung other details niya. Ang color niya is white, gray, white, light green, pinkish, brown, red, yellow. Ito naman yung pyrophyllite. So, andito yung mga details niya. So, yung chemical properties niya is parang same lang rin siya dito sa talc. Ang color ng pyrophyllite is white, gray, pale blue, pale green, pale yellow, and brownish green. Yung pyrophyllite doon, ginagamit siya as soapstone. Alam niyo ba yung soapstone? Yun yung parang hinahalo rin siya sa tiles. Yun. Para siyang soap. Yun. Pero hindi siya bumubula. Okay, ito yung gypsum. So, wala tayong chemical properties niya. Pero nakikita nyo naman colorless siya pero may white. Ito, use of mineral filers. Meron pala siyang other use. May other use of mineral filers. Use of mineral filers in paper, paint and ceramics, plastics and polymers, wallboard, and adhesive and sealants. Papers. Papers uses fiber to provide strength but the smoothness and the reflective properties come from filler. So, kung di nyo alam yung kaolin, ang kaolin is clay siya. Ayan, sinabi naman na clay material siya. Ang kaolin is a clay minerals. Ginagamit siya sa industrial. Kasama pala siya sa mga industrial materials. Ang chemical properties niya is katulad ng sa talc. Meron siyang aluminum na subscript 2, silicon na may subscript 2, oxygen na may subscript na 5, at oxygen na may hydroxide na may 4 na subscript. Paint and ceramics. Wollaston. So it is to provide permanent expansion on heat. Wait, it's something else is shrinking. Yun, kasi yun pyrophyllite, di ba ginagamit siya sa ceramics? Kasi ceramics, di ba, hindi naman siya nagsishrink kapag sa sobrang init kasi, di ba, ginagamit din siya sa pagluluto, yung mga ceramics. Okay, dito naman tayo sa plastics and polymers. Minerals used as fillers in plastic compound have traditionally been used to reduce materials cost by replacing a portion of the polymer with the less expensive materials. However, nowadays many functional fillers or mineral modifiers are required to modify processing characteristics of finished particles. It is properties and impact modifiers. So, diba? Dito nga, kasi ginagamit talaga yung fillers para malesen yun paggastos ng pag-additive sa asphalts. Ayun yung talagang cost effective pero matibay naman siya. Katulad siya sa mga ibang materials. Wallboard. Wallboard is white filler powder packed in dryer is usually gypsum. Can be mined but synthetic gypsum is also produced by using limestone to scrub sulfur emission out of coal flue gas. Building a whole new wallboard plants but that's a lot of risk at capital. The dark side of scrubber gypsum. Small amount of ash can give slight gray tone acceptance. Need to control salt content or it will corrode drywall screws. Countries with a plot of pyrolite fill wallboard with pyrolite. So marami daw yung mga countries na maraming pyrolite, yun daw yung fieldboard nila ay punong-puno ng pyrolite. Adhesive and sealants. Calcium carbonate and kaolin, they are cheap and fill a lot of space without messing up flow characteristics. Drilling mud uses barite for density control. Kaolin and diatomite prevent caking of ANFO. Or for ammonium nitrate fuel oil, yun yung meaning ng acronym na ANFO. Mineral filer. So meron siyang lightweight application and heavy application. So next slide tayo. Doon tayo sa more lightweight application. Mica alters and stores lots of water. Rapid water expansion pops the mica like worms. Vermiculite has more chemical active surface than perlite. It is used as a carrier in insecticides sprays. Soaking up and containing oil used as soil conditioner also found in lightweight gypsum plasters. Fire resistant plaster boards can be used as loose insulator. Yung ginagamit rin pala sa loose insulator at fire resistance. Heaviest application. Barite is used in drilling mud. It is heavy, non-abrasive, and inert. It is used in heavy concretes needing to weight down pipes in marshy areas. Good neutron absorber, so barite-based concrete can reduce lead shielding at nuclear facilities. Ground form is a filer and extender. Ground form is a filer and extender. Yung mga, yun, ah, nabubuo sa ground. Yun. Oil-based paints because it does not absorb oil.
Hello, good morning. My name is John Robert P. Panaligan, and I'm going to report steel. Here we have the introduction to steel, types of steel, applications to highway and railroad. Introduction. So during 400 BC, India produces the first true steel. Indian metal workers invented a smelting method that happened to bond the perfect amount of carbon and iron. And when the crucibles cooled, ingots of pure steel lays inside. So yun, during pala nung 400 BC, naka-invento yung mga Indian metal workers ng paraan kung paano makagawa ng steel. And sabi dito, steel is basically an alloy of iron and carbon with a small percentage of other metals such as nickel, chromium, aluminum, cobalt, molybdenum, tungsten, and etc. Steel is a hard, ductile, and malleable solid and is probably the most solid materials after plastic and iron. Meron tayong iba't ibang klase ng steel. We have here the high carbon steel. It is simply composed of iron and carbon but more percentage of carbon. Sa mga klase ng steel, it is the most common na makikita natin kapag nakikita natin sa paligid natin, ganun. And another one is the mild steel. It is composed of iron and carbon. So parang katulad lang din siya ng high-end carbon steel. Ano lang siya, low content of carbon. The medium carbon steel. The medium carbon steel has a normal content of carbon. Yung carbon properties niya is not that compact, kaya hindi siya ganong katigasan, unlike high-end carbon steel. We have here the stainless steel. Stainless steel is resistant to any sort of external attacks. Yun nga, sabi, external attacks. Resistant din siya sa scratches at gano'n na din sa mga kalawang. High-speed steel. From the term high speed due to the fact that it has the ability to cut the metals. So high-speed steel is probably the most toughest of all types. Kasi nga, yun, diba, ginagamit natin siya sa drill para pangkat din ng ibang mga metal. The cobalt steel. Cobalt steel is much like the high-speed steel with an excess cobalt present in it. So yun, parang katulad lang din siya ng high-speed steel. Mas present lang sa kanya yung cobalt na meron siya. The nickel chromium steel, a type of steel which apart from being strong and shock resistant. So yun yung sinabi dito, shock resistant. Matibay din siya at the same time dahil sa may properties na meron siya. The aluminum steel. Aluminum steel with a high content of aluminum. Kadalasan naman ginagamit siya sa furniture dahil sa smooth surface na meron siya. So yun yung purpose. The chromium steel. It has a high content of chromium and are resistant to corrosion. So yun, they are very strong, tensile, and elastic in nature. So yun. Ano ba yung application ng steel sa highways and railroads? So yun, alamin natin. Sabi dito, in every country that wants to boost their economy, one of their first objective is to develop their transportation system. So yun, di ba napakahalaga para sa isang bansa yung tinatawag nating transportation system when it comes to economy, kasi dito nakasalalay yung paglago ng isang bansa, yung paglago ng isang business at ng isang bagay. So, ayan, dako tayo dito sa Pilipinas. So, here in the Philippines, lalo na when it comes to highways and railroads, steel is not exactly used in making of roads, but based na din sa mga road workers na mas better pa daw yung performance ng flexible concrete kahit walang mga reinforcement bars. So, paano nila nasabi yun? Ano ba yung flexible concrete? Flexible concrete, it can be deformed up to 3% to 5% in tension before it fails, which gives it 300 to 500 times more tensile strain capacity than normal concrete. This allows a slab of it to undergo a lot of bending without fracturing into pieces,
earning it the nickname of flexible or bendable concrete. So ayun, para siyang minodified na concrete na mas pinatibay at mas flexible. Pero however, sabi naman dito, generally the use of steel on roads and highways are mainly for reinforcing of joints. So yun, nagsiserve siya as the foundation na isang particular na structure. At ganoon din, sabi din supportive structures such as fences and signage. And lastly, for the creation of bridges. So ayun, nagsiserve din siya as a design. Not only for the design, kundi pinapatibay niya din yung isang structure. So, dito naman, when it comes to roadways, meron tayong ginagamit na dowel bars na tinatawag. Ano ba yung dowel bars? It is a smooth steel bars placed across transverse joints to transfer loads without restricting horizontal joint movements due to thermal and moisture expansions. So, ano ba yung ginagawa ng dowel bars? It reduces deflections and street due to the traffic load. Ayan, yun pala yung naging purpose niya. Isa pa, nire-reduce din niya yung faulting, pumping, and braking na maaaring mangyari sa isang daan. Lalo na kapag napakataas ng volume ng mga sasakyan na nagdadaan sa isang particular na daan. Ganun. At isa pa, yung dowel bars din, nabibilang siya sa type of steel na stainless steel. So, ano ba yung mga advantage ng steel? Sabi dito, the main components of steel bridges, ayan, nakasulat dito sa picture. Nagsiserve siya as a fixture, guardrail, support, road sign, walkway, deck, at marami pang iba. So, ganun din siya sa aming foundation. Siya yung nagsusupport dito. Ganun din sa mga bridges. Ayan, siya yung gumagawa ng design at yung nagpapatibay. Pwede siya maging pylons, deck truss, table. Ayan, sabi. For the last, sabi dito, steel bridges plays a large role that it connects highways over bodies of water, over obstacle, or over another highway. So, di ba sinabi kanina nung una na yung transportation system ay napakahalaga when it comes to economy. So, yung pala yung naging role ng steel bridges kasi steel bridges, ito yung nagko-connect from one route to another. So, yun yung importance ng bridges. At yun lang po. Maraming salamat.
A pleasant afternoon to all of us, also to our professor. Good afternoon. I'm Jessica D. Reyes from GSCE 3C. These are the topics that I will discuss in this afternoon. First, geoplastic fabrics, function of geoplastic fabrics, application of geoplastic fabrics on roads. What is geoplastic fabrics? The geoplastic fabrics were introduced and experimented in Europe in the year 1970. They were used to reinforce soil of pavements and to provide drainage and erosion control for highways and railroads. So, according on the research, kaya pala inintroduce at saka in-experiment ang geoplastic fabrics upang ma-reinforce ang mga soil pavement, also para makapag-provide ng madaming drainage and maiwasan natin yung mga erosion sa highways and railroads dahil nga nauuso na ang cracking ng kalsada. So, kailangan talaga natin ng geoplastic fabric para mapaganda at maiwasan natin yung mga traffic dahil din sa crack na nangyayari sa ating kalsada. So, ito yung mga example ng mga geoplastic fabric na ginagamit upang maiwasan natin yung mga erosion, also para yung way or flow ng water is mas mabilis. What are the function of geoplastic fabrics? There have a 6 function of geoplastic fabrics. So, una, fluid transmission. Kalawa, filtration. Ikatlo, separation. Ika-4, protection. Ika-5, tension membrane. At ang ika-6 ay drainage. So, dumako muna tayo sa una. Fluid transmission. Using geoplastic fibers, It collects liquid or gas and conveys it within its own planes toward an outlet. According in research, fluid transmission daw is to collect liquid or gas and convey it upang mas mapadali yung pag-flow ng liquid at gas. Filtration. Geoplastic fibers can act as filters. In this, liquid can pass through it normally to its own plane. So, infiltration, yung mga liquid is magpapass through normally. So, yung kanyang flowing is maayos because of filtration. Also, mape-prevent din natin yung soil particle na mag-pass on the water flow at humalo dun sa ating flowing of water. Separation. When geoplastic fiber is positioned in between particles with different sizes. Also, it acts as a separator because to prevent the particles get mixed upon load application. So, sa separation naman, ang geoplastic fibers ay nagkakaroon ng magandang position between sa mga particles at different sizes upang maiwasan natin yung pag-mix ng mga particles patungo sa load application. Next is protection. We can categorize this protection into two kinds. So, first, the surface protection and interface protection. Ano nga ba ang surface protection? According in my research, surface protection is geoplastic fibers are applied on the top layer of the area, while naman yung interface protection is applied in between multilayer of the soil. Tension membrane. When placed between two different materials having different pressure, the geoplastic fibers acts as a tension membrane. So, dito naman pumapasok yung balance the pressure between two materials and ini-strengthen niya yung mga structure kung saan nag-i-increase yung isang strength due dun sa friction kung saan yung interlocking between geoplastic fabric and soil is mai-strength. Next, drainage. As geoplastic fiber is permeable material and it plays an important role in drainage for most of the civil engineers' structures like dams, roads, pavements, embankments, and etc. Sa drainage naman, water is more important. For this structure, different under-drain system should be constructed. Dahil sa paggamit natin ng geoplastic fibers, yung mga structure for a drainage efficiency for under-drainage system is mag-i-increase na very easy to construct. Next is the application of geoplastic fibers on roads. There have a three. So first, paved surface rehabilitation, reflective rock treatment, pavement separation, and reinforcement. Una, paved surface rehabilitation. Under an asphalt concrete overlay, a geoplastic fibers may provide sufficient tensile strength to relieve stresses exerted by the movement of the existing pavement. So, according on our research, so dito, maiiwasan natin yung pag-move ng mga existing pavement, or example na lang yung mga crack na on the road or highway. So may iwasan natin yung movement nun if we gonna use the geoplastic fabric. Also, dito, yung geoplastic fabric is magkakaroon siya ng implementation with a bituminum na magpro-provide ng degree of moisture protection for the underlying layers whether or not reflective cracking occurs. So, yun nga, kapag merong cracking dun sa kalsada or sa highway na ginawa, so, may iwasan natin yun if we gonna use that geoplastic fabric or fibers. Next is reflective crack treatment. So, geoplastic fibers have been successful in reducing and retarding reflective cracking in mild and dry climates when temperature and moisture changes are less likely to contribute to movement of the underlying pavement. So, dito naman, if magkakaroon ng mga cracking, so, not only on the Philippines naman kasi nagkakaroon ng cracking of highways and roads. So, mapapansin din natin yan also sa mga ibang bansa. So, para daw ma-reduce natin ang cracking na yan, so, we gonna use geoplastic fabric para maiwasan natin yung cracking. So, parang yung geoplastic fabric, siya yung magiging crack treatment natin. Also, so next is pavement separation and reinforcement. Soft sub-ridge materials may mix with the granular base or sub-base materials as a result of load applied to the base course during construction or loads applied to the pavement surface that force the granular materials downward into the soft sub-ridge, or as a result of water moving upward into the granular materials and carrying the sub-ridge materials with it. So, dito naman, yung geoplastic fabric is ginagamit in construction of gravel roads and airfields over subsoil para ma-resolve natin yung problems and there increase the life of pavements, reduce the initial cost. So, that's our discussion for this afternoon, and thank you.
I am Michael Angelo Arpelayo from BSc 3C discussing about the equipments used in highway construction. First, we have crawler excavator. It is used for excavating or moving soils, rocks, clays, or debris in roads construction site. It is works such as breaking asphalts, walls, clearing trees, loading debris on dump trucks, etc. It is generally considered as a heavy equipment because it is used to excavate paved rocks and clays and load it onto a dump truck, as you can see here in the moving image. It can also serve as digging earth, rocks and clays, and all you need to do is to change the front attachment as per purpose. Dun sa image, nakikita nyo yung pinaka-handle na nag-move ng materials or piles doon sa dump truck. Yun yung napapalitan ng attachment depende sa kung anong construction activity or saang purpose siya gagamitin. Next, we have motor grader. It is used for leveling the road surface so that asphalt can be laid on it. It is also called as articulated frame motor graders, consists of 3 axles. 1 axle in the front of the machine and 2 at the rear end. Si motor grader naman, after ni crawler excavator, magawa yung purpose niya, yung road is lalagyan na ng gravel or ng dirt base. Yung dirt base or yung gravel na yon, si motor grader yung nagle-level or nagpapatag ng road surface bago yung lagyan ng asphalt. And si motor grader may different sizes siya. Depende siya kung anong o kung gaano kalaking construction activity gagamitin. Next, we have road roller. Si road roller is a compaction machineries used for compacting layers of soil and asphalt to increase the sturdiness as well the smoothness of the surface of the road. Ang common type ng roller is na ginagamit sa highway construction is yung double drum roller. Si road roller naman ginagamit siya after mailagay ng asphalt sa kalsada. Ang purpose naman ni road roller is to compact the layers of soil o para mas lalong tumibay yung bawat layer na madadaanan ng road roller. And dun sa moving image, yung wheel ng road roller na yon is bago siya dumaan sa asphalt, kailangan may tubig muna siya para yung dadaan ng asphalt is hindi masira or mapakatlang lang lahat doon sa equipment. Next, we have wheel loader. Wheel loader is also known as the front loader or bucket loader. It has an arm with a huge bucket attached to it. It is used for lifting moving soils, rocks, debris, or other materials in, out, or around construction site. Si wheel loader naman, siya yung must-have equipment for most construction site. It is much like a tractor and it can lift and move a pile of materials, just like roller excavator. Pero si wheel loader naman, mas marami or mas malaking amount yung lilip or namumove niyang materials kasi mas malaki yung bucket niya na naka-attach. It can also be used for backfilling trenches or holes that are dug up during road construction. Next, we have asphalt mixing plant. Si asphalt mixing plants is where the asphalt, concrete, and coated aggregates are produced by mixing sand, aggregates, asphalts, mineral, pilers, binder, and etc. Si asphalt mixing plant naman, doon daw ginagawa yung asphalt. It is one of the most important road construction equipment. Si asphalt mixing plant, tinatayo siya depende sa road project o sa road construction site. Kung malaki naman yung project or yung site, pwede nang doon na lang itayo yung mixing plant para hindi na malayo yung paghahakutan ng dump truck sa pag-apply ng asphalt. Next, we have dump trucks. Dump trucks are capable of hauling away large amounts of dirt. Dump trucks are made in different sizes. So sinabi ko na nga kanina sa una pa lang, nabanggit ko na yung purpose ng dump trucks. Dump trucks are used in loading of dirt and debris dug up by the excavator dun sa unang moving image ng equipment. Sa big construction site naman, off-road dump trucks are used to carry larger quantities of materials. Next, we have pavers. Pavers place new pavement for precise installation of pavement mix. After nga ma-produce ng asphalt mixing plant yung asphalt, and si dump truck naman, dun niloload yung asphalt and sinasalin siya sa pavers. Si pavers naman yung nagdi-distribute ng asphalt sa kalsada ng evenly or fair para yung asphalt is hindi bako-bako at hindi mahirapan si road roller na daanan yung asphalt or patagin yung asphalt. Si paver is also known as asphalt finisher. Dahil nga, sinabi ko na siya yung nag-a-apply ng asphalt sa kalsada ng evenly distributed.